Hello. Do you want to own your voice and do not know how? We will be drawing today on that topic. I own my voice. And in order to do that, we are disconnecting from 3 obstacles that are in our way to owning our voice. And by disconnecting from the obstacles, we will at the same time set this energy free, which was contained in these obstacles, and use it for owning our voice. And I believe that by doing that, we will be able to think and act more and more freely. Thank you, Ria, for your question on that topic. I appreciate your questions, and I'm sure that all of us are still in the process of owning our voices, and it is like usually not done with one drawing. So if you really want to dive deep into your topic, it's always nice and advisable to draw more than one drawing. You can use any of the Neurographica algorithms to dive more deeply into your topic and draw on the same topic, which is like dear to your heart at the moment. Draw more than one drawing. This is called a case, and it's getting deeper and deeper into your subconscious and into the stored information there, and you can release more and more layers if you're ready to do that. So this is for everybody who wants to work on one topic very intensively. If you like to draw yourself free, and if my videos are helpful for you, please leave a comment and also like these videos. Both will support my channel because YouTube will see that people are actually interested in drawing themselves free. So that's how you can support me. And thank you also for everyone subscribing to my channel. It's a pleasure to see growing interest, and I keep on drawing with you. So now let's disconnect from obstacles on our way to owning our voices. I'm using this algorithm, which is called disconnect from. It's part of neurocommunication of Neurographica. And it's a very beautiful tool. Be curious. Now we'll start drawing. So we activate our topic by writing down words in 2 minutes. Everything that comes to our mind, all the associations, no filters, just write down whatever comes into your mind. So the topic is I own my voice. Start now. So I have nice things which reflect that I already got somewhere owning my voice, which was not always like that. Owning my voice was very difficult for me for many decades. I could speak and voice like clear sentences, but I wasn't heard. Nobody heard me, and I felt not seen as well. And that was very difficult. So I know it's a very interesting and very important topic. And I know I already got somewhere when I look at my words. So it's worth drawing and also working on your topics, and they will dissolve like line by line, drawing by drawing, and also inside by inside. But it, like, be patient with yourself. It takes the time it is necessary to take, like, and it takes the path it needs to be walked. So we always walk step by step from where we are. So some of my words are firm, rock, stable, feet on the ground, certain, inner wisdom, powerful tool, security, inner peace. It is there now. Yes. So let's see what happens after drawing, because I'm actually interested in drawing that topic, because I sometimes see like obstacles in others which still disturb me when I see them. And that means that these elements, these imprints are still in me if I see them in others, and if they even disturb me in a certain way. So it's worth looking at those, and I'm really curious what happens if I disconnect from these elements. So I'm always taking like a sheet which is a little bit thicker. So if we draw a lot, it's nice to do that, but you can use any kind of sheet. We also drew on an envelope recently, like a bigger envelope, which was also a little bit fat paper, so you don't need to go and buy something you don't have. Maybe you'll find something what you have and you can use. So, and I want to use my ball pens today, and I'm starting with the thinner one. I have two, thinner one and a thicker one. And I'm drawing a shape for owning my voice, somewhere in the middle of the sheet. So, and I make it a circle, and I make it quite small because I also want it to grow. So there is something which is owning, which stands for owning my voice. So this is here in the middle. And I feel pleasure in my heart while I draw that. I can literally connect to that, owning my voice. I feel it physically in my heart. It can be scary for you to draw that shape if it's like not very visible yet. Be brave and feel into that circle representing owning your voice. For me, no other shape is possible because it's a very harmonious thing to own your voice. I can also feel my feet on the ground. And I also take some deep breaths here. So now I decided to draw 3 obstacles, as I told you, and one obstacle is criticism. Criticism, devaluing myself, comparing myself to others, and criticizing myself for being the way I am, telling myself I'm wrong, something is wrong with me. So criticism, draw a shape for criticism, which might not be that round yet. So criticism, I make it a little bit edgy. Criticism. And the criticism, you can mark some point in the middle, and also in my owning my voice, it is connected, like the center of me and my criticism are connected. So I draw a connection line. It doesn't need to be very thick because we want to disconnect from that. But right at the moment, there is some connection to criticism, to devaluating thinking about myself. I can sometimes hear me think something horrible about myself still. Like I think something like, of course you have again forgotten this and that, you're too stupid to remember. But then I realize, aha, that's criticism again. Why don't I just say I have forgotten that? I have forgotten that. That's a fact. And the criticism is, I'm too stupid to remember. I always do the same stuff, and so on. So, the criticism. Then I draw a shape for expectations. It goes in the same direction, but it's kind of, I should be fitting in. I should be more like others. I should be somewhere else in my development or whatever. So expectations, I also make it pokey. Invite you to do pokey shapes as well. No, don't worry, we will harmonize them later. So this is for all kind of expectations concerning myself. Obviously, we also have expectations about others, usually. But we will work on disconnecting from expectations towards ourselves and whatever we put inside. So at this moment, expectations and the criticism, they are still connected to ourselves and keeping us from owning our voice. And then I want to put a shape for being conditional. I make an example, like if I had a loving mother, life would be this and that for me. Or if I had a lot of money, I would be free. If I had more time for myself, all these kind of things. This is what I mean with being conditional. So being conditional gets a shape as well, which is, it's not helpful, so that's why it's having these pokey things. Being conditional. I would be, if I would have a loving partner, blah, blah, blah. I would be happy. All these kind of things. So being conditional is one. We can write that somewhere so that we can remember. I write it here. Being conditional. Criticism. And expectations. I should be different. Or the world should be different. If you have expectations which are not in alignment with reality at the moment, you will have a problem. If you don't have expectations about things which are not there at the moment, then you don't have a problem. It's a very magical thing, these expectations. And if you have expectations about yourself that you should be different than you are, you also have a problem. Because you are as you are, and you can only change if you accept how you are at the moment and how world is at the moment. You will get able to act. You can own your voice and do what needs to be done only if you accept what is there at the moment. So I'm curious, maybe we will transform this expectation to a new shape. So I will leave that because I think 3 of these major obstacles are already a lot. So I want to start harmonizing criticism. So what I do is I draw around this shape, around all my pokey edges here. And make it already a little bit more peaceful. Criticism. I transform that. All the things all the mean things I'm saying to myself and I'm believing about myself, which keep me from owning my voice because I'm constantly criticizing my pace, my abilities, how I look, what I do, what I don't do, and all these things. They keep me from owning my voice. So, and then I'm drawing neural lines and connect like the edges and create one new system of all my criticism and make it a little bit less necessary. I make it possible to doubt, is that right what I think about myself? Is this criticism what I want? Does it help me to criticize myself all the time? Or even others? Whatever you see in others is part of you. So actually, if you're criticizing other people, you're also criticizing yourself. If you're criticizing the world, you're criticizing yourself. Because you can only see things in the world, in the outside world, which are in you. So the most powerful tool you have is your self-awareness and doing something in you. So make sure you draw neural lines that are organically flowing, that are connecting. So I can feel already some kind of pleasure about like letting this criticism finally go somewhere, dissolve it, let it be part of my past, which I don't need anymore. I don't need to draw it into my life every day anymore. Stop criticizing myself, my neighbor, my children, the way it is. I look at reality as it is, and if I don't criticize it, I'm not in opposition anymore, which means I can act. That doesn't mean that I agree to it, but I can see it neutrally, and then I can do whatever needs to be done. Like, for example, one example which comes to my mind about that, like my dear friend told me a story recently about her experience. She was not sleeping the whole night because her neighbor had placed some light just right in front of her window, and not only the light disturbed her sleeping, but mostly her criticizing behavior, like about the neighbor being that unaware, that would disturb her, the light, and she was criticizing this neighbor as far as I understood. And what happened was that she couldn't sleep the whole night because of this anger and criticism, and she couldn't even find a solution. So the next morning when she went to the neighbor and they talked about that, this neighbor just didn't understand. He said, "Oh, that's disturbing you. Why didn't you remove the light?" And this idea hasn't even occurred to my friend. And that's a very good example about accepting reality. There is the light, and then becoming able to act. Oh, I can go and remove it. I'll tell the neighbor tomorrow that it has disturbed me. So criticism looks much better here for me, and I also feel the need to connect it a little bit to the background already, which I do here. I draw some lines to the background because it feels necessary. Like I want to let this criticism become part of the field and let it go. So I have some of my lines here. And over here there can be a lot of long line. Interesting enough, if I see my shape here of my criticism, it looks like a brain to me. And who is criticizing all the time? Obviously it's the brain. So make sure that your neural lines are flowing, don't repeat themselves. They go into a direction where we do not expect them to see, and we do not really willingly draw them. We let them flow through us. So before I work on the other obstacles, I have this need to make more connections. I am working on rounding and integrating my lines. Criticism. How does that feel to you? To change your imprint on criticism. For me, that feels great. My inner criticism is much more quiet than it was. For a long time, it was really active. And it was basically all the things I internalized from living with my mother, who was always being mean, unfriendly, unkind, and unloving. And what I did is I took all these judgments about myself into myself, and I didn't even need her to judge about myself. I didn't need to hear her do that. I did that by myself. The good thing about that is, once we realize that, we can also take action to change that, because then we are not the victim anymore. The victim which has been told that you are this and that way and you're not worth and this, because like if you want somebody else to change in order for you to be happy, that's the next idea of being conditional. If you need that condition, like my mother needs to treat me friendly in order to like let me develop my most beautiful bloom inside and all these things, but she doesn't. What happens is that you are in this victim position. You cannot act. And you can also not develop your voice because you make yourself dependent on what your mother, for example, or somebody else is doing. So once you change that and take action, that's why I love this draw yourself free statement, because it's you can do that and only you. So it's, and if you realize that, you have the most powerful tool. You have found the most powerful tool, because it's me who has the power to change whatever I want to change, to get rid of whatever is inside me, what I don't want there anymore. You are in charge. Don't forget that. So that's why I love that drawings. So, being conditional, my mother should behave loving. This is I think this was a very, very, well, the longest time, my condition for being happy. And since she didn't do that, and by the way, she still doesn't do that, being 77 now. So I was like waiting completely for something which is not coming. So once I dropped that idea that she has to do something, and yes, she behaved horribly and she still does, and one point I accepted that she does, because a long time I was also doubting my perception. Maybe she doesn't really behave nasty, but that was the first thing. I also accepted reality once. She is doing that. She is not behaving nice. She's not behaving lovingly. She is not behaving as I expect my mother to behave. And my condition for happiness was, and for also owning my voice and doing whatever I'm intended to do, was, my condition was she should behave like a mother. So I was completely unable to take any kind of action in my life towards the direction what I'm supposed to do, towards the abilities I'm supposed to develop. What did I come here for? So what I do here, and I recommend you doing as well, if you have pokey edges, and if you didn't draw a circle here, you also work on integrating all these pokey lines, drawing nice connections, rounding them, and transforming your conditions towards life, how it should be versus how it is. And it makes us, it gives us the opportunity to become free and to own our voice. I can already feel that this is not big enough, because all these energies which have been contained in criticism and in conditions, they are being set free. You can maybe see that they are already spreading somewhere, and we will lead them to our owning our voice. It's not possible that it stays that way. So we're creating new neural connections with every neural line we draw. We're creating harmonious impressions by working carefully on rounding all the intersections nicely. Connecting all our lines, making it flow, and we get ourselves to access all this stored energies. Isn't that great? It's only energy. It's not a bad energy. It's nothing to be like, we don't need to punish ourselves for having these states, all these states we have, like being conditional, criticizing, having expectations. Yeah, if we want to use them, we are free to do that. No need to be sad about that. And this Neurographica is such a wonderful tool to transform our own imprints bit by bit. And if we feel satisfied after we have done one drawing, Ria, this is very nice. It's a very, very good sign that you have done your drawing nicely and you have dissolved one layer. This is your proof. And if after some time it's coming back, or you feel it's coming back, then you might be ready for the next step to draw another layer of that topic. You might have different things you want to dissolve. You can put your own meanings to the shapes of whatever you have in your way to owning your voice. You know that. You have to ask yourself, stop the video and ask yourself, what is in me keeping me from owning my voice? So I wrote, I could have maybe found 10 different things, because usually there are lots of things in ourselves. But I picked 3 for this drawing. So being conditional. And you can also, like, you write down the words, and whatever words are like most sticking out to you, and you wish to transform those states, you can pick those, for example, for your shapes. You can add one more. There's lots and lots of flexibility and options in Neurographica. And I'm really happy that I took all the time to learn this. And I think it's a lifelong learning process as well, because with every drawing you get more experience, and you also get more brave to, like, address your most scary topics maybe. So you need to be ready also to address your topics. That's why it can like not be too much overwhelming to draw if because you're always like, you can only see the topics which you're ready to explore and transform, and you will transform them in your pace. That's also a very beautiful thing, that you are going in your pace. I feel I want to make that shape already grow a little bit. Owning my voice, although I didn't even transform the expectations yet. But I let it grow a little bit. So if you feel your shape for owning your voice can grow a little bit, let it grow. If you feel it's still the same, let it be the same. So expectations, criticism, being conditional. So expectations, like, I address the expectations now. I draw a shape around it, which is a little bit harmonizing all these edgy things here. And if your shape is quite round, you can activate it with drawing new lines inside, and combining like all the parts, especially the edgy parts. So expectations, I should be like others, I should be successful, more successful than I am, I should have done this and that earlier in my life, followed my path, for example. Comparing myself to others also, like I have the expectation to be fitting into society, but I don't feel like I do. So all these things will put me in my own way to own my voice. It's again the same problem. If I don't accept where I am at the moment, if I expect myself to be somewhere else, if I compare myself to others, I'm getting nowhere but into frustration, and I'm not going to own my voice. Because I will be stuck in the expectations of things which are not here. I expect myself, I don't know, for some reason I always have this to fit in idea just now. To fit in, and also to do what everybody else is doing. But I'm not, because I feel a different mission. And I'm following my path. And this leads me to following my own path leads me to owning my voice. So this expectation actually, thinking of creating a new shape for following my own paths here. It's such a nice thing. So let's first finish some rounding, integration of all the intersections. Ah, I know what I'll do here. I invite you to do that as well. If you are ready to do that, if that resonates with you, you can do that. So I feel like this is my owning my voice and dissolving expectations feels like getting this energy of movement towards following my own path. And I'm drawing a shape here now, which is a triangle pointing to my goal. And this shape is standing for I follow my path. How do you like that, people? I love that. I transform my expectation. I need to fit in and do whatever other people do. I transform it into I follow my paths. I want to write that as well. And this leads me inevitably to owning my voice. It's growing again. Owning my voice. You can just let your hand decide. Is it growing and to which size it is growing? My owning my voice, and it feels like my whole heart, area of my physical heart is opening up. Feels like expansion, freedom, joy. What do you feel? right. It feels right. So I own my voice. It started with a small circle, it's already very big here. I follow my path. Where I haven't done all the rounding yet, but I will do that because I want to draw another shape which transformed for this accepting whatever is. And it is criticism. It is the changed criticism as well as the being conditional and as well as expectations. It's all of that. And I want to draw it somewhere here because there's this free space, and I want to draw a square here representing one of the key major tools to own my voice. It is peace with reality. Whatever is, acceptance. I write peace with reality today. With whatever is. I want to make that visible. So I have 3 new shapes here. I have one shape of owning my voice, which is quite big and in the center. I have one tool, peace with reality, and I follow my path. If that resonates with you, you can also draw these shapes. If it doesn't, you can also just dissolve your states that don't serve you anymore at this time in the background. Tons of options. Again, whatever resonates with you, you can do. Like for me, being conditional transforms into peace with reality. Because if I accept, same example, I accept my mother as she is and she wouldn't give me what I want from her, what can I do? First I accept and then I do what needs to be done. Start loving myself, for example. Connect to divine, the source in me, the universal love and wisdom, to the divine in me. So I want to draw a circle here for I do what needs to be done. As you can see, it's only part of a circle, but it doesn't matter. It will go here somewhere. I do what needs to be done. So sometimes I feel I want to write that. So, and I want this to be quite round. Like I'm able to act. I'm able to own my voice. I'm able to think and act independently. Amazing. Please write down in the comment what this drawing does for you. For me, it does a lot. I feel that in my heart and my body. Our body has all the memories of whatever we have thought about us, about others, about life. It's all in our bodies. And if we change something, we can feel the change in the body. We can feel heat, for example. We can also feel fear, resistance, pains. we will have states. So I think this is a powerful topic and a powerful way to get going, or to, I guess we all are already going, but to move further into our desired direction. So it will also cause body reactions. So I'm curious, what does your body say? And please, please, please always share your drawings. The easiest way is, I think, in the Facebook group, Draw Yourself Free, using Neurographica as a tool. I've already posted some of your drawings there, which you sent to me, but you can also do it yourself. You can leave lots of comments there, whatever the drawing did to you, but you can also leave the drawing only. You can do the commenting here as well, to inspire people to draw, that it's possible, because it also needs courage to start drawing, to start taking action, to actually draw yourself free. And you don't need any artistic talent to do that, but you need courage. Courage to face your states, your demons, your saved states with which your body and like the whole of you had become comfortable over many years. And to do something here, it is a courageous step, and especially if you're doing it by yourself. I also love to offer some drawing, like group drawing, in close future. I'm still thinking about how and when I do that and in which way, but once I have figured that out, I will offer some time for drawing in a group. And I also offer this drawing 1-on-1, which is, it is deep healing potential. If you draw with an experienced Neurographica instructor and also experienced human being, let's say, or a little bit more experienced than having had a little bit more experience in this changing your imprints, can be really, really helpful as well, to get your self-guidance on your personal journey. You can check out the link, which I left in the bio, for you, if you need that, if you feel you need that, and you feel maybe stuck. And I'm really proud of all of you who are drawing, taking action to make your light shine more brightly, to get access to all the stored energy in yourself, because it is there now in you, in all of you. We are all divine human beings. Divine beings which think that they are human, but the human being is the limited part of our being. We are all connected to universal love and wisdom, and we connect by drawing. Every line connects us to our connection, to ourselves, to the source which we have in ourselves. Everybody has that. Everybody has that. right here, right now, available. And all the limiting thoughts pretend or want us to believe that we are alone, we are unable, we are small, and they keep us from owning our voice. They keep us from thinking and acting free. To protect us, not for bad reasons, just to protect us from potentially dangerous because new experiences. So one of my goals is to become friendly with my own brain, having interesting ideas about me, judgments, and all these things which are dissolving here, and to understand that our brain wants the best for us. It is categorizing every experience into known or unknown, and the unknown is always dangerous. So make sure you become friend with your mind, because it won't stop warning you. It won't stop being afraid of new things. But you can stop making that your own, like, guideline. You can say, okay, yeah, this is some kind of fear which comes up from my brain, which wants to warn me something had been dangerous in the past, and it had been good to be careful, to protect myself from judgments, from other people's mean behavior, whatever. And now I'm grown up, and now I don't judge myself anymore, and now this is the danger, and I'm going my way. I follow my path. I'm eager to use colors soon. My path, I see that triangle shine very nice and green there. So, and the triangle is always very active. If you feel a little bit scared about that, you can also do some rounding here on the peak. And we will integrate it, and we will draw some neural lines around it. I want it very visible. I follow my paths, might even become my fixing shape. I'm not sure yet, but I really like that. And as you see, we are using all the lines of our states that we are dissolving. They are still there. They are not disturbing us. They are part of our construction. And it's okay that they are there, but they are having new functions now. They are just completely different than they had been. Can you remember all these pokey edges there, which has like kept on hurting us with every thought and keeping us from owning our voices? But now we use this energy. We have this, I do what needs to be done. I'm able to act, making peace with reality, because everything else doesn't make any sense. About peace with reality, I will tell you more things. Like I had on my way up north, I had this idea of I want to find silence, and that was also the reason why I went up there, because I know that are places they are completely silent, and it's magical for me to be in a place without any noise except for birds, wind. And then I needed to drive a few hundred kilometers to reach the place where I wanted to be, which actually was very quiet and beautiful as expected. But on my way, I was like sleeping in my tent 2 nights, and I was hearing the noise of roads for 2 nights, and I was not sleeping well because I was very much in not acceptance of the noise, because I don't want to hear any noise. But it doesn't help to be in opposition with the noise. And the one interesting thing I also observed is one night where there was a very big storm while I was sleeping in the tent, and I actually felt not at all disturbed by the noise of the wind, which was quite loud. I didn't feel disturbed by that. So it was not the noise itself, it was my idea that it shouldn't be noise of any street there. Wind can be, didn't disturb me. And interesting enough, when the wind like was stopping at night, sometime at night, I woke up, because then I was able to hear the roads, and this kept me from sleep. So if I accepted that, okay, there is the same way, now I'm sleeping here today and there is that noise, and if I accept that there is that noise, if it's wind, I can sleep. Why can't I sleep if I accept the noise of the street which is there today? Since I didn't, I was sleeping very badly that night. And then there was another challenge on this trip for me. All these towers which provide like our internet connections, don't know how they are called in English. I didn't want to see those as well, and I didn't want to have their energies around. But what I wanted is, I wanted to use my internet. I was doing drawings, I was working on videos and publishing them and all this stuff also up there in my nice beautiful place. So yes, I needed this. And if I accept that I want that, and then I don't need to be in opposition to these towers, because they are actually serving me. So this is what I mean with peace with reality. This doesn't mean that I need to move to a noisy road and live there all my life, but it means that if I'm in a condition where I hear noise today, and I accept that, then it won't disturb and affect me. So now I want to have some more lines within peace with reality, because all these lines are activating our neural connections, like connected to our shapes. Peace with reality is something I really like as well. Gives so much freedom and ability to act. Like, for example, next night I find a place to sleep a little bit further from a road. Or if I really don't want these towers around in my life, then I go to some place where they are not available. And I might even go to a place where I don't have any electricity to keep myself from using any internet while I'm seeking for the silence, for example. So I can act. I accept reality. That's what people sometimes don't understand. I think if I accept reality and if I don't oppose horrible conditions in the world, how can they change? No, they only change if I accept how they are and if I do what needs to be done. For example, raise my own vibration in order to help the world's positivity flourish. How can I do something for the world if I myself am in a bad state, in opposition to what is? I'm caught in the negativity of everything, and I cannot focus on my own light and on shining that and on being a good example and on telling people that they have light inside and how they find it, and be part of shining the light into the world and raising the whole world's energy level by that, one by one. So I can only become able to act by accepting my inner reality and the outer reality. So, I'm still curious to find out what's going on in your drawing processes. You can take notes about your thoughts which are coming up. They are all connected, like everything I'm talking here at the moment is always connected to what I'm drawing here. It's coming up. If I want to track like what it's about for me, then it's good to take notes, make ourselves aware of that. So before I use colors, I want to make my shapes a little bit more visible. I find some pen which is a little bit thicker, maybe this one. And I want to emphasize this new size of my shape for owning my voice. I really like owning my voice, one of my most favorite topics, especially because I didn't do that for a long time. Trying to hide, not to be seen because it's dangerous. That might be also one shape which you need to draw. Visibility. That might be in your way to owning your voice if you don't want to be seen. At least I worked on my visibility also for some time, obviously, because now I am able to build up my YouTube channel, which was not in any way planned, because I was always hiding. And now it's kind of completely natural for me to do that for some reason, for some mystical, magical reason. After tons and lots and many drawings and other things of self-development and processes and time, this seems to be the right thing to do now, to go out and share. And acknowledge that there might be something to be shared about. So I work more on integration of my shapes now that I made the outlines more visible. So I want to make sure that all the energies flow in one connected system. And we take all the time it needs to finish our drawings. Make ourselves aware as well that we might feel resistance, which can also like show itself in kind of headaches or feeling of unwillingness to keep on drawing, all these things. It's a good sign. It means that you're doing something new. Give yourself time and do it anyway. Maybe you can take some deep breaths. You can stand up and move your body a little bit, especially if you feel resistance or whenever you feel the need to do that anyway. Be friendly to yourself. You're doing a great, important job. And for me, it's very amazing to see that all these lines are still there of everything what has been there for many years. It's still there. It can be there. I'm using a transformed energy of it now. So we have already worked on connecting our shapes to the background, which helped us to dissolve the states which we don't want to be in our life anymore. And now it's time for colors. And as I told you, I want to use green for I follow my path. You can use any color you want, as any color you resonate with. I follow my path. By the way, it could have been also a square for you, for example, I follow my path, or a circle. But maybe it's too complicated to have lots of options. You can just do it like that. Triangles are always dangerous as well, because they have these pokey edges, and they are dangerous because they stand for change, for movement, for something new. So that's why they feel scary, or can feel scary. I personally love those because I love changes, and I only initiate change when I'm ready for that. Obviously, usually we do that. Before we are ready to change, we won't like get going. I follow my path. Beautiful. Beautiful. I like that. So if you are working with markers which are waterproof, you can use highlighters as well here to make your shapes visible. Your topics, use the right colors which are suitable for your topic. I own my voice, fierce, dark, like this kind of green for me at the moment. I just start in the middle and I see how much of this green I want in this shape. So I always take care that I color at least 2 segments We don't leave single segments because we want to create integration, one new system. We don't create new separations. So, and I see how far this color wants to spread on my drawing. And obviously you can also influence like the intensity of your color by using more or less pressure. I want it kind of intense here. I own my voice. It's even not intense enough, especially here in the middle. This is the seed where it came from. And I have one tool here, how to do that. Follow my path. For the longest time in my life, I never had the impression that I'm on my path, I'm not on my track, and it always felt quite unsatisfying. And I now do feel on my path, and that feels really, really beautiful. So whatever needs to be done to go follow your path, that's the right thing to be done. So now I feel this wants some yellow as well. I own my voice shining out here because it's also present and pleasure for everybody else if you own your voice, because they can actually hear what you're saying and you don't need to have some extra energies like shouting or using some kind of pressure or whatever. I'm thinking especially of like interaction with my children. If I own my voice, it's magical because they can just hear me. That doesn't mean that they agree or that they do what I mean, necessarily do what I want, but they can at least hear me. And I feel satisfied because they heard me. And then we can move on, and then I can also hear them. It was also difficult for me for some time while I was not owning my own voice. It was dangerous for me to listen to other person's voices because they could have been overreaching. Like I had this experience in my childhood to have been treated very overreachingly, and I wanted to make sure that I haven't been, like I wouldn't be treated that way. But by doing that, I happened to treat my children overreachingly. Although I didn't want to do that, but it was the least thing I wanted to do, but still it happened. So I need to do what, no, I do what needs to be done is clearly red for me. Fire, it feels good, warm, beautiful. It's a very nice thing to just do what needs to be done without being in opposition with it, without judging, without wasting energy on this, being in opposition to reality. Just move on, do what needs to be done now, step by step. And it's friendly, it's loving to do that. Here I see what needs to be done, some more rounding. I also do that. I want to make sure everything is nicely and beautifully connected. So what color has your shape for I do what needs to be done? I do what needs to be done can very well also be a square. The square is always stable, firm, secure. Circle is harmonious. I want the action harmonious. Harmonious and visible and loving. And I want some yellow in it, some orange. I add some orange here as well. It feels needed. That's why I add it. So the drawing works in all directions, so you can very well like turn it around and work from all perspectives. Yes. Peace with reality. Get some blue. Reality and peace. I like that. I choose this light blue. It's actually the energy of wood, of wind, the energy of wind from the element of wood. And I feel connected to this color here. Ease, lightness comes with peace with reality. Like the wind, moving, flexible, strong, creative, active. And I chose that for that shape of the square to make myself aware of this stability, being in peace with reality. So I will also overlap it a little bit here. I want it to be completely visible. And I draw some overlapping here with my own voice. I do what needs to be done. Is some action step, and I own my voice. Yeah, and I feel it's also leading here. It's leading as swarms and everything here, although it's not overlapping. It doesn't need to. So we might, or we for sure, we will add some colors in the background. But for now, I feel the urge of adding field lines, which are the thicker lines which flow from one end of the drawing to the other, and inviting the divine into our drawing, inviting universal love and wisdom. I always like to do that. Very welcome to come to my drawing. Let's see where my line is flowing. I'm using lines which are already there, and I'm also creating some new. So I have some flow for universal love and wisdom flowing from left through the center of owning my voice, and these field lines are bigger than the others. We try to make them about the same thickness everywhere. And I use a different pen for that because it's thicker. If you have a thinner pen only, you can go over this line many times, which is also very beautiful. The more lines we create, the more visible these new connections become to our neural system. So, and now I make sure that I connect my field line nicely. That's why I need to go over my field line and work on the connections. Make universal love and wisdom part of your drawing. Allow yourself to be supported. And it's not coming from outside, it's coming from within actually. It is in you, the connection, now, at all times. It's never not there. But to make that visible and perceptible and visible and perceptible to our brains, we draw that willingly into our drawings. Some idea what I want to do after the drawing. What we do when we collect our drawings in this Draw Yourself Free group, we are inspiring other people to draw, hopefully. They will find that group. And we are creating with all our drawings, what we are creating is art of transformation. That's how I perceive it. It's art because it's coming from deep inside. It's our personal transformation. And this is visible and it's very personal, and still it's also very secret because nobody knows what we connect with that unless we speak about it. Like my process is less secret because I speak about that. And I want to do that because I myself learn mostly and most, like, I like to learn by examples. And that's why it's nice for me also to share my own processes, to give you an example. So as you can see, I'm adding a second field line here, which happens to be like merging in the middle with my other field line, which is not a problem. We can just round nicely and properly. So it can go right through my middle center. It doesn't have to, it can go anywhere you feel, where you feel it. And it doesn't have to be 2, it can be 3 or 4. Sometimes 1 is too little. And it can also become too much because of intersections and stuff, but basically we'll try to feel where we want this divine energy. I call it divine, and what I mean is universal love and wisdom's energy. For me this is divine, but you can call it as it is, as it feels right for you. Divine is not at all limited to any kind of religion. Divine is universal love and wisdom. It's always the same, no matter how we call it. So I'm working on the connections again. I hope you do that too. Creating a field line creates new connections, which is good and beautiful. Think of a river which is branching out into other smaller rivers. They will need to have some kind of pathways as well to go there. Sometimes we also want to add more lines. You do whatever needs to be done here for you. So, what is coming up for you? Which thoughts do you have? How does your body react? My feet are tingling. My heart feels wide. I feel kind of joyful, connected. I feel right at this moment, a little bit impatient. Maybe because of that moving forward energy. Energetic in general, if it's not impatience. So now I have these 2 field lines, one here and one there, and I draw a little bit thinner one here. I don't want another very big one. Yes. I won't make it very big. It can be a little bit bigger. I like to have some of the lines a little bit more visible. All the lines are connected to everything that is anyway. So I'll do that here as well. Creating a new one here. And it can also flow somewhere. Where does it flow? Maybe up here. Yeah, this can flow here. Integrating some of the lines. This one can also go here. Here where you want some lines, or you don't want, don't put. So now integration where needed. Emphasizing on more flow in the drawing. We're slowly drawing ourselves towards feeling satisfied with our drawings. So that was a very straight line. I integrated that. So we can go over the new lines, take our time to create the connections, and busy ourselves with our topic, with our drawing, taking time for ourselves, for our healing, for our growing, developing. So, getting somewhere already. How does it feel? So this is already a little bit of the style step to make it, to do whatever needs to be done to finally feel completion of the drawing. I want to check about colors for the background a little bit to also connect to the field, to the energy of the field by the colors. And I'm using some, I'm spreading some of my blue here. So wherever we feel, we want our energies to flow a little bit through, like maybe through our shape, from the field. We can add colors to the background as much as we want. I like to create these flowing impressions which feel for me that this energy is coming from somewhere. So, and I feel how much color feels right to add. So this feels nice, and I want it to flow here somewhere, and it can come out here. So for me, this is now combining like outside, inside. My piece with my reality is also nice to combine it to the outside world. Inner reality and outside reality. Our outer reality is always a reflection of our inner reality anyway. So there is actually no outside, but that's another topic maybe. Huge and interesting topic, and this is also blue. Nice, like that. Yeah, I like that. And I want to give my greenish also some support. There will be also some blue, like supporting my triangle to move from here. Some kind of fuel for my triangle from the field. And at the same time, our initial obstacles are even dissolving more. Isn't that great? For me, it feels great. You add your colors where you feel them, and also the colors you want to add. I see some connections here, which will be in a lighter reddish color. So as you see, I can create connections between those shapes as well by colors. And I use a light color, and now it's moving again. What is happening here? Something is different today. It might want a break. Feel free to take a break whenever you need one. That's the great thing about the videos. You can stop them and continue whenever you're ready. But don't stop and leave it halfway. I highly recommend finishing off your drawings. If you take a break, you take a break for recovery, drinking something, going for a quick walk, or whatever. Maybe even lying down for 15 minutes or whatever. Gaining energy for the next step. But don't run away from it. So beautiful, 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 beautiful. So I'll take a little break now. See you in a minute. Let's see. So next I want to choose one shape which contains my solution and will be my fixing shape. So I follow my path is a very nice shape. Peace with reality is something I really love. I do what needs to be done. I own my voice. So I really like all of them. And it could be my fixing shape to own my voice. Something is moving here all the time. What happened? What is wrong? Obviously, that can be the fixing shape. I follow my path. I do what needs to be done. For me, I feel I want to fix peace with reality. And I go over that. So you please choose what resonates most with you and what you want to be like your fixing shape in this drawing. I feel peace with reality is something I want to fix here. And this all includes for me being able to act, following my path, using my own voice, maybe this is something where I still feel some capacity to learn. We also don't leave very straight lines in our square. We activate it with neural lines as well. So peace with reality is visible here. Connected. Peace with reality. How nice is that? Own your voice. Make sure you'll beautifully work on integration as well. Connecting all the intersections nicely. Take your time. Drawing Neurographica is a date with yourself. So, peace with reality. That's some visible line from inside. If it's our fixing shape, we can do everything to make it as visible as possible. And make it as outstanding as we can. So here I can see some more necessity for rounding. Peace with reality means everything and everybody else can be as they are. No need for me to change that like other people. No need to be in opposition to conditions around me, in me. I can be in peace with them and then do what needs to be done. Out of this, being in peace with whatever is. Finding my way of doing what's right. So I make it as beautiful as I can. And I want this beautiful blue to be seen more. Add more color in the middle. Precious impression is what I intend to create here. You can mix your colors, obviously. So now add some shading in the background to emphasize on that flow even more. I add shading next to the shape here. And yeah, maybe next to the field line. And here. I would also be interested in learning, where did you hear about Neurographica first? How long have you been drawing? What do you like? What do you like about Neurographica? What is attracting you towards it? And also what topics you wish to draw on. So maybe I can resonate with your topics and also offer some as you like. Usually we all have kind of similar requests and topics, so we can also work together on our topics. We are not alone with our requests. So some shading here. Obviously I want my voice also to be beautiful. By owning my voice. I'm mixing different shades of yellow, different shades of green. So, what do I do here? Follow my path. Maybe also a little bit more beautiful. I add some shade of blue and support the direction of movement a little bit more. My path is something which I want to be moving. My impression of my path. So I wonder, can you also follow the videos to the end? Are you patient enough to watching it all? I wonder whether that works for you, because they are quite long. I'm aware of that. I'm offering it like that because for me, I feel it gives the most value, because you can draw along and actually follow all the steps together with me. That's why I'm offering the long versions as well as the short ones. But I'm a little bit worried whether you can actually follow along the long ones, or are you impatient? When I'm creating the short versions, I'm always creating a new, like I describe it anew what I do, because otherwise if I have the drawing process quickly, then I cannot have the same explanations at the same time. So it might be also worth watching both if you're really interested, because I will have different aspects in all the drawings, in both versions of the videos, the long and the short versions provide maybe different insights for you. Would be also nice to get some feedback on that, how this works for you. Are you working with the short version? Are you working with the long version? Are you just listening? How do you use my videos? That is something I'm curious about as well. So lots to write about. Let me know. And don't forget to add your drawing to the Facebook group Draw Yourself Free, using Neurographica as a tool to inspire everybody else to draw, and also to value your own work. Nobody knows what you are drawing about, but you also value your work by showing it. So it's kind of an exhibition which we make there, which we create, or which I'm intending to create there, by collecting your drawings. So we bring our drawing to a state of satisfaction when we feel it is ready now. We have done everything what we can do for it, for our topic at the moment. So have you watched my nature videos? I'm a very big fan of them. And for me, they are my artworks as well. So this is how far I got. and I feel it's very active in me. I feel a spinning movement around my body midst in the area of my heart. I feel clarity in my mind, and I also feel the necessity to breathe deeply. There is some change in me which I created in that drawing. So now I'm exploring that with writing words in 2 minutes after the drawing. So please also do that. So I will write topic 2.0 and I'll see what comes up now in 2 minutes. Let's start. Yes, I have concentrated energy, atom, power, wisdom, presence, right, everything is right, connection, now, moving forward, without doubts, contentment, peace with everything that is, moving on, right track, on track, inner strength, in this moment, wisdom. Yes, what did you discover? What is it that your drawing made visible to you at this moment? Please let me know, and let's keep on working together. If you like my video, please like it as well on YouTube, and let me know all that had happened during drawing and also after drawing, and ask me questions for anything you don't understand. And you're also welcome to write me an email, drawyourselffree@gmail.com. So let's be in touch. Thank you for watching. Thank you for drawing. I'm proud of you. See you soon. Bye bye.